2 teams, 1 goal. UPC Finals, Season 2. Yes, we've made it. But we have one more opponent in the way if we want to be crowned victorious. And that, everybody, is Bash and his New York Mews. So, that being said, what is going on, guys? Crypto Vibes here, SMS Crypto. Sorry for the very cringy intro, but I figured it was worth it. I figured it was worth it for the finals, as we're here. And yeah, alrighty. Yeah, we're facing up against Bash, probably one of my best friends in the community for sure. Definitely excited about this match. And yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so off track from the intro. Okay, but anyways, I guess I'll still go ahead and get straight into his team. Like, the teams are so different from the first time we faced. We faced off back in week 1 of the regular season, so it's been a while since we've faced, and we've both made pretty big changes to our team, especially him. So I've had to reorganize my prep. Like, basically, what I brought week 1 doesn't really matter, like, nearly, like, at all. Like, it does in small parts, because there's a couple things that I expect him to bring again, which he brought week 1, but there's so much different on his team. Like, you'll see. You'll just see. But anyways, before I get into that, I highly encourage you guys to go check out Bash's channel. I'll link him down below for sure. He's a great YouTube content creator, and I think he just works on league battles right now, but he's really good at that, so make sure to check him out. So yeah, anyways, Bash's team consists of Lugia, Blaziken Speed Boost, Sylveon, Mega Absol, Cobalion, Porygon 2, Electros, Frogadier, Shaman, Garchomp, Quillfish, and Cryogonal, with his Z captains being Garchomp and Shaman. So yeah, as you guys can see, he's actually changed up his S tier, so he has a Lugia now, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all, to be completely honest. Lugia, when I was going through my team, I was looking through things I could break through it. Obviously, it does have the multi-scale, so that's something I have to worry about first, which is very ridiculous. And even without the multi-scale, that thing is pretty hard to break through, yeah. It's pretty hard to break through. Lugia's defenses are through the roof. I can't remember the defenses right off the top of my head, but they're not going to be easy to deal with. He still got the Blaziken Speed Boost, which honestly, it could come against my team. It could come as like a surprise factor. Like, I'm pretty sure he's not going to bring it just because I don't think he's comfortable enough using it, especially in the finals. And it doesn't really have a good matchup against my team, in my opinion. But if he wants to bring it as like a surprise factor, thinking I won't expect it, then that could be a thing. But I definitely am prepped for it. He has things like I definitely expect. The Lugia I definitely expect, because that'll be a ridiculous hard for my team to deal with, in my opinion. I have a few ways of beating it down. The Shaman, I 100% expect him to bring that. Some very, very defensive set to be able to deal with Kyogre, because otherwise he doesn't really have a good switch into Kyogre. He's not going to want Lugia's multi-skill to get broken into like a water spout or anything immediately. So I don't think that'll be his primary response. I'm thinking something like Shaman. I think Mega Absol has a really good matchup against my team, considering I don't really have like a straight up switch into it, because obviously it's a great physical attacker with all its knockouts and stuff, so like something that switches in well to that is Landorus on my team, but he also has the option to run coverage moves like Ice Beam and potentially Fire Blast to hit things like my Magearna and Amoonguss and such. So he's got Mega Absol, which is a pretty big offensive threat, and I need to watch out for that. And then after that, there's a Quillfish, which I think Quillfish has a pretty like interesting matchup. I'm kind of expecting him to bring offensive Quillfish against me with potentially like a Life Orb or something, just to be able to try to beat through some of my team and something like that. I think that'd be the only role it could really value if it came against me, because he could run like T-Spikes, but like I have an Amoonguss on my team, which I think has a very good matchup against him. Spoilers, I am bringing Amoonguss. But and then yeah, I think either Garchomp or Cobalion comes as a rocker or just an offensive mon in general against my team. I think Garchomp has a little bit better of a matchup. If Cobalion doesn't come, then I have one mon in particular that can shine pretty nicely, so that's good there. But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and get into my team straight away. He also has Z users being Garchomp and Shaman. I expect Z Garchomp over anything. I don't really see Z Shaman coming against me, as it's better defensively in my opinion this game. But anyways, starting off the matchup in the finals, we have Tornadus Therian coming with the leftovers, Hurricane, U-Turn, Taunt, and Toxic. And yeah, our Tornadus is here for it's really good against his team. Hurricane spam is just nice in general, unless he brings the Electros. But other than that, Hurricane spam in the rain is really good against his team. U-turn is there because it gives me good pivoting ability into things like you'll see in the future on my builder. But U-turn is very good. I want momentum on this team. It's very important. Taunt plus Toxic is good at wearing things down like the Sylveon, so it doesn't allow it to Wish Pass for free. Toxic can obviously wear down things like Porygon 2, Electros if they want to switch in freely on this thing. Even Lugia. I want a ton of Toxic users. I'm just going to keep that in mind. I want a ton of Toxic users, a ton of ways of poisoning his team for things like Lugia, Sylveon, Porygon 2, a lot of the fat things he's going to bring. I expect a fat team against what I'm potentially going to bring. which is what I'm expecting, right? And then get into the EVs. His fastest mon is the Mega Absol naturally. Other than that, it has to be Blaziken with a speed boost or a Choice Scarfer. So my Tornadus Therian is outspeeding his Mega Absol by 2 points, as you can see right there. Running enough HP to take a Choice Scarf Stone Edge from a Adamant Garchomp, I believe is... Yeah, Choice Scarf from a... Actually, it's a Choice Scarf from a Jolly Garchomp. I'm expecting if he brings Scarf Garchomp, it would be Jolly over Adamant, just so we can outspeed things like Scarf Lando, Scarf Kyogre, and such, which wouldn't throw me off if he has Scarf Garchomp, so it gives him a way to revenge my team easier. Considering like I do have things like Tornadus, which outspeeds his entire team. And then I believe I have 96 in Spadef because it allows me to take 2 Hyper Voices from a non-invested, non-boosted Sylveon, Hyper Voices, and then it allows me to take 2 Ice Beams from a non-boosted, non-invested Lugia, which is the idea there, and that threw the rest in special attack because I figured to get that extra damage with Hurricane is nice on his team. And U-turn damage isn't important, I just have it there for the momentum. So that's the idea with Tornadus. I think it's a really, really good matchup against this team overall, and I decided to throw it on there first. Get into my next mon. This mon is going to be super good overall. It 1v1s the majority of his team, which I'm expecting. Sludge Bomb, Synthesis, Toxic, and Giga Drain is very, very solid in my opinion. Against the majority, I guess I shouldn't say his whole team because he does have things like Lugia, which can break through this. I was considering going Pyappa for a while because that helps against Lugia, it helps against Sylveon with Psyshock, it helps against Shaman with Psychic. It helps me just beat those 1v1 very, very easily. And just Amoonguss is a good switch in general. Week 1, I actually brought an Ingrain set by accident. I didn't completely understand the mechanics of Ingrain. I thought it trapped them in, but clearly your boy does not know what he's talking about. It trapped myself in, and didn't work as well as I thought it would. So I'm not bringing Ingrain this time. I think Amoonguss has full range of what it can do this matchup. Hopefully it can shine, as it does really well at checking the Sylveon. Even if it is Psyshock, I can take those pretty nicely, unless it's like Spec Sylveon or something. I would expect Psyshock over Psychic because I think a Spadef Amoonguss makes more sense if he doesn't expect that. It can check Frogadier pretty well, unless it's Ice Beam. Ice Beam hits pretty hard, but I do have another option to switch into that. This monster deals with Shaman exceptionally well, and I do expect Shaman like 1,000,000% just because I have a Kyogre. So as you can see, my first 2 mons actually deal with Shaman very, very nicely, so that's good to have on deck. Which, I mean, if he doesn't bring Shaman, like, that would surprise me a lot, but that also means that Kyogre gets to just spam Water Spouts in the future. As you'll see, my next mon is Choice Scarf Water Spout Kyogre, but I guess we'll get into the EVs a little bit more. Primarily just max Spadef here. Like I said, it's no particular reason on the Spadef EVs. It just allows us to deal with things like Sylveon and Shaman, and I can easily check the Quillfish as well. As I believe this defense investment allows me to take 3 Life Orb Poison Jumps from Quillfish in the rain. Obviously in the rain, Waterfall's not doing as much as Poison Jump still, so that would be a strongest move. And in case he does bring an offensive Quillfish, I do need to be wary of Fell Stinger, so I don't want to sack something off to it prematurely. I feel like that'd be a bad play, and that's why I wanted to have a pretty decent check to it overall. With that being Amoonguss. I think Sludge Bomb, Synthesis, Toxic, and Giga Drain is pretty good overall. Cobalion can check this. It pretty much walls this actually. But if Cobalion comes, I have an easy switch into it, being my Landorus. You'll see here shortly. Even if he has special, you'll see why. But I think this coverage overall is the best I can do against this team. And if he doesn't bring Cobalion, this mon just really shines overall. So yeah, like I said, get into my next mon. We have the Choice Scarf Kyogre with Water Spout, Origin Pulse, Ice Beam, and Thunder. We're running enough speed to outspeed a Adamant Blaziken after a speed boost, which I don't know, he'd probably be Jolly more than likely, but I really wanted to go Modest just for that extra power on Shaman, because I believe if he's like a max special defense, max HP variant with leftovers or something, then I can 2-shot after rocks, which is very, very good. If he's like a Soul Vest, then I can't, but it's still nice to have that extra insurance on damage to help ensure like OHKOs and stuff on certain mons after rocks, like Sylveon. I believe it ensures an OHKO if he's defensive Sylveon. I'm pretty sure I'd knock out Cobalion anyways. Things like Porygon 2 obviously will not appreciate rocks, plus a modest Water Spout coming its way, so that's the idea with this mon. It's what I brought last time, and like it's pretty predictable in my opinion, but in my opinion it's just the best bring against him. As Water Spout's really the only thing I'm going to be clicking. Maybe Origin Pulse every now and then. I just have Ice Beam and Thunder on here just in case like I'm in a 1v1 scenario late game for some reason and I need to just click Thunder. Because Thunder does hit his it hits things like the Quillfish, which is honestly like it hits Quillfish and Frogadier harder than the other moves would if I'm very low on health. So that's the idea there. And I threw the rest into HP just so I can come into a few more attacks easier, because if he does bring something like a Porygon 2 and it has like Ice Beam and such, I can switch into that on Kyogre if I feel like it's the right opportunity to. So that's the idea there. Now, actually getting into my next mon, this mon is going to be incredibly important for the Lugia. And that mon is going to be my Licky Licky Laffy Taffy right here, as this is only the second time we've brought this mon all season, as we brought it against the Grape in our meme match, but this is the first time we're really bringing Licky Licky to do something. And yeah, its job is very specific in that it needs to deal with Lugia. That's really its main job, is it can deal with a couple of mons. This mon does get kind of walled by Heal Bell Sylveon. It does, as you can see, it gets walled by Heal Bell Sylveon. And yeah, what is it? It deals with Shaman. I mean, not Shaman. It can Toxic Shaman. Obviously, Shaman can switch out and stuff. But like I said, its main job is to deal with Lugia. And I'll explain what it can do against Lugia. The only thing I'm scared about with Lugia is if he's a substitute variant on Lugia. But I think I'm really confident he needs to bring 2 coverage moves against me. Whether it's Ice, Electric, Ground, Psychic. He needs to bring 2 coverage moves, in my opinion, to break my team. And if he brings Substitute, that means he's either forced into Calm Mind or Roost, which is very good. I don't think he's going to go Calm Mind, so I don't think he'll go Substitute Calm Mind. That leaves him very like... Roost is just good on Lugia. It lets it get its multi-skill back in certain scenarios. So if he's sub-Roost, that means another mon on my team can't deal with it. Like, I cannot break its sub with Licky Licky, but my next mon will be able to deal with that if it's sub-Roost. It would be able to at least break its sub in that scenario. If he's sub-Calm Mind, that could be a little bit of an issue. But I don't think that ultimately has the best time against my team, because if he's sub-Roost, if he's sub-Calm Mind, I'm sorry, then that means he's limited to either 2 coverage moves, 1 coverage move, and Roost, which honestly wouldn't hit my team as well. So, but yeah, anyways, Licky Licky, we're running 8 speed EVs. In case he brings Electros, I want to be able to outspeed that for sure. Just get guaranteed Clutch Wishes off if needed, a Clutch Toxic off if I feel like I'm going to die that turn and I need to poison it. And yeah, that's basically the idea there with the speed. We're running 208 in special defense. Actually, the defense EVs is what matters here, I guess. I think we're running, we're running enough defense to take 2 Earthquakes from an Adamant Scarf Garchomp if that's what he decides to go with. I don't obviously want to be able to. I don't obviously want to stay on a Garchomp because this is mainly for Lugia. But if that's a scenario where I need to, then I will. And then yeah, the rest is thrown into special defense and HP as we are calm natured to be able to deal with a Lugia. The set I'm really expecting coming into the game is Calm Mind, Roost, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, as I feel like that deals with my team pretty nicely. Hits everything neutrally or super effective, I think, on my team. Yeah. Like, Bolt Beam is very good against my team in general, so I would not be surprised if he brought that. And, like, dude, I'm so surprised how well Licky Licky can take hits from Lugia. Like, even after setting up to +6, I believe it does his, like, Ice Beam or Thunderbolt does, like, 60%, which is obviously a lot, but by then, hopefully, I don't let him get to +6 without, you know, doing some damage or Dragon Tailing him out before. So that's the idea with Toxic plus Dragon Tail. We have a ton of mons with Toxic on this team, as you can see so far. The Licky Licky, the Amoonguss, and the Tornadus. I believe we even have one more coming up. But yeah. That's basically the main idea with Licky Licky. Like, I 100% expect Lugia. Like, I didn't have to face it last time, and I expect him to bring it this time, because he's going to want to change some things up, for sure. And we're rocking Oblivious, so we can't get taunted by, I guess, things like Quillfish. If he's a fast taunt, Quillfish could be a thing. I guess it's just the best thing I could bring overall. I guess Cloud9 could have been a thing, because if he's offensive Quillfish in the rain, then the waterfalls would have been doing... The rain wouldn't affect the waterfall damage. But I think Oblivious is just better overall. And this Licky Licky is going to be incredibly important, so I just need to remember to value its life for the Lugia in particular. Get into the next mon, we have our Magearna, ICMZ Magearna with Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Shift Gear, and Focus Blast. Now, I debated on the coverage moves for a while on this, and I debated if I want to Calm Mind. Ultimately, I don't think I had the best opportunity to set up on his team with a Shift Gear plus a Calm Mind, and I'd rather have the Shift Gear than the Calm Mind, just so I can have that speed boost and have this mon as a very good late game win con if possible. As you guys remember or saw from before, I have a ton of mons with Toxic, so I need to wear down his defensive walls very nicely. Kyogre hopefully can break some holes with the Water Spout, and then I want to set up a late game scenario where Magearna can just win. That's the idea there. The EVs we are rocking with, we have a Timid Nature, so after a Shift Gear, we 100% outspeed Scarf Garchomp. With the speed, we needed 250, just because Scarf Garchomp maxed out at, I believe, 499, and we maxed out at 500 with this, which is good. And then we went max special attack and then 8 in special defense, just so we could, like, I guess take a Shaman hit better if we needed to stand on Shaman and set up, for example. And then Ice Beam, yeah, ICMZ is really good, because like I said, I'm expecting him to be a very Spadef Shaman, so I want that extra boost behind it. I considered Z Focus Blast for a while, just because things like Porygon 2, I wouldn't obviously have to risk the miss. Things like the Cobalion, I wouldn't have to risk the miss, and then Cryogonal as well, so... but ultimately, I wanted the Z Ice Beam because it can help break through Lugia. If Lugia's multi-skill is broken, then Z Ice Beam can break that basically every time. which is really, really good. And Lugia is obviously a huge problem. If Licky not able to get the job done, then I want to be able to beat it offensively, and Magearna's job is to do that and hopefully sweep. That's the idea with Magearna. And getting into my last mon, I've been talking about, I think I wanted rocks a lot in this team builder, and my best rocker against him is going to be Landorus. I had the option to bring Landorus, Jardigan, and then Kabutops, which in my opinion had a horrible matchup, so I didn't want to bring Kabutops. And then Landorus is clearly better than Jardigan in most scenarios. So I am going to bring Yachi Berry Landorus, just because I said, like, his ice coverage, like, he should bring a lot of ice coverage in my opinion. So Yachi's going to be very important, just so I can ensure rocks on most things. Earthquake, Stealth Rocks, U-Turn, and Toxic. Like I said, Momentum's going to be important, so the combination of Tornadus and Landorus U-turning around is going to be very important, considering if I can get, like, just U-turns off into things like Kyogre, that could be important, because I just start spamming Water Spout to potentially break for Magearna. I can U-turn out into my fatter things like Amoonguss and Licky, which ultimately is going to be pretty important. And also, the Yachi Berry is very, very nice. You'll see it come into handy in the game. I'll kind of explain what I think, why I think the Yachi is very, very good this game, once I get into the battle, of course. But like I said, we want this to be a very, very reliable Stealth Rocker, so I have the Yachi there. U-turn, and then Toxic is to just chip things down. Possible switch-ins to this. I don't think he'll use Shaman as a switch-in, at first to this, considering I could be Flying Z, considering this is one of my Z users. And then, I think something like a... what is it? Looking at his team, he doesn't really have a great switch into this. Maybe something like a defensive Porygon 2 could be something. So Toxic is very, very good for that. Something like he could be Shukaberry Cobalion with like a Calm Mind setup variant, so that could be a little bit scary. So I need to watch out for that. But obviously we do have the Yachi, so we can deal with Hidden Power Ice pretty nicely there. I do believe the defense investment plus the HP is to be able to deal with. I think it gives me the best chance to just deal with Garchomp, Cobalion, which I really need a Garchomp check, because if he brings like SD Garchomp, I can start breaking through some of my members very easily. Considering ground plus dragon coverage is pretty nice against my team. I'm bringing mainly ground, just hits my team really, really hard, and then dragon for like Tornadus and such. So that's something I need to watch out for. If he brings like Z Sandstorm, that could be really cool too, just to get rid of my rain and it gives Garchomp a boost. So if he brings like Z Sandstorm plus Swords Dance, that could be something very scary. So I want to have something that can just come in and check that like right from the get-go, and that is my best check with is going to be Landorus to it. So very, very defensive overall. I believe, oh yeah, the Spadef investment is very important actually, because if he brings a Life Orb Frogadier with Ice Beam, it's Protean Frogadier by the way, so if he brings Life Orb Protean Frogadier against me, I can live Ice Beam insured, and Earthquake has a 100% chance to knock him out. So if Frogadier is ever in a 1v1 against Landorus, I am 100% staying in and just clicking Earthquake against that thing, because that thing is a nuisance to my team. Outside of Licky, I cannot deal with that thing very, very well at all, and I don't want Kyogre taking damage from it, so that is a mon I want to be able to get rid of like 100% of the time. Like, obviously he could stay in and click Hydro Pump against me and knock me out, but obviously the Hydro Pump has that 80% accuracy, so I think he's going to go for the Ice Beam and just like at that point go for it. He could obviously predict I have Yachi Bear and go for the Hydro, but like in a finals match I think he's going to want to play it safe and just go for the Ice Beam. But yeah, that's basically the team, guys. I feel pretty comfortable with this team going in. I think it has a good chance to hopefully pull through. I hope we get a clean match. I really, really do. It's a finals match, and yeah, for sure. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Alrighty, we are back in the battle, guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and get a drink real quick before we get started. Alrighty. We are here, and as you can see, he brought a very, very threatening squad of Mega Absol, Porygon 2, Sylveon, Garchomp, Lugia, and Shaman. So right away, I see on the right side the Lugia and Shaman, two mons I 100% expected, and then the Mega Absol, which is going to be a pretty big threat against my team, not going to lie. I don't really have a dedicated switch into Mega Absol. If he's rocking the Superpower for my Licky as well, then yeah, that can be a problem. Porygon 2 is going to be a very, very annoying mon to wear down for sure, but I do have a ton of toxic users, so hopefully we can toxic that early. No knockoff users, I believe. Yeah, we have no knockoff users, so that's a little bit annoying for the Porygon 2 if it starts walling out my team, but the idea of this team is to chip things down with toxic and get in range of Magearna, so hopefully that won't be an issue. Sylveon, I do need to be careful of that thing. I think Tornadus is going to be important to potentially stop a Heal Bell variant if he does decide to bring that, because if he has Heal Bell Licky, or if he's Heal Bell Sylveon with like Psychic, or not Psychic, if he's like Heal Bell, Psyshock, Moonblast, Wish, that could be really, really scary, because obviously he could Heal Ball off and deal with my Licky exceptionally well, and then my switch would be a Moongus, and if he has a Psyshock on deck, then that could be pretty bad, but so that's going to be a mon I need to be careful about, and hopefully deal with early if we can. Garchomp, I'm expecting to be a Z user this game, as it just can blow a hole through something, which is very nice. Lugia, like I said, I expect to be Calm Mind Roost with 2 attacks. I primarily expect Ice Beam plus Thunderbolt against my team, and then he has the Shaman, which I'm expecting to be very, very Spadef. Indeed. So, with that being said, we are going to go ahead and get into it, and I expect him to lead 100% with his Shaman or Garchomp, Scarf Garchomp, to be able to deal with Kyogre at least a little bit, because last time I did lead Kyogre against him, and he led Porygon 2, which was good, so he could lead Porygon 2 again, because that forced me out with potential Thunder Wave or Thunderbolt. But either way, I am going to leave with my Landorus. Like I said, I have the Yache Berry intact, and I should be able to get rocks up from turn 1. I'm going to put the speed on normal, and as you can see, he does lead with the Shaman. Now, he does have to fear Flynium right away. He definitely does have to fear it. I don't know if he'll respect it turn 1, considering that would be considered a waste on my part. Like, Flynium hits everything on his team neutrally, but obviously breaking down the Shaman would be very important for me, and it would let Kyogre just spam moves. So he does have to respect that here, I think, and I believe he's just going to switch out right away. He goes into Cyberduck his Porygon 2, which is a really cool bring with the Trace. Now, let me rewind this turn real quick. He brings Trace, which is very good for my Landorus. That's a very good switch in on his part. Gives the Intimidate back, so that was good prep on his part there. And I just get my rocks up. Now, this is where the Yache Berry comes in very, very nicely this next turn. Basically, if he goes for the Ice Beam right here and he's not invested, then it will do about 40% to me, I believe, with my Yache Berry attack. So that's damage I'm willing to give up on Landorus if I can Toxic this Porygon 2. And there's also the off chance that he won't click Ice Beam, considering it gives me an easy switch into things like Licky Licky and Kyogre. So he could overpredict right here, as I'm just going to go for the Toxic, and as you see, he goes for the Thunder Wave, either trying to catch my Kyogre or my Licky Licky coming in, I'm guessing. Obviously, if I went hard Kyogre right there, that would have been a huge nerf to my Kyogre immediately, and my speed would have been nerfed, and Scarf Kyogre wouldn't have been as good. So, definitely, I felt like it was a turn I could have stayed in. And right here, I actually go for the U-turn right away, because I figured he's either going to double Thunder Wave or just go for the Ice Beam this turn. So I go into my Licky Licky, as I can wear this thing down over time. He goes for the Ice Beam, and that does absolutely nothing, 14%, so he's going to be able to scout my set out for sure here. And right here, I really don't have any idea what he's going to switch into, so I believe I just click Dragon Tail on this turn, as obviously if Sylveon came in, it could check that. But if Sylveon does come in, I want to scout out and see if that's Heal Bell, as he does go right into Sylveon, so my Dragon Tail is not going to be able to phase that out. And he's leftovers, as we can see from here, so no berry or anything. And right here, I believe I just throw up a Wish, as he does the same. So right here, I'm like, okay, he's either going to go for Heal Bell or he's going to switch out into something, getting a free switch. He Baton Passes out, so he's Wish Baton Pass, probably Protect or Side Shock, and then last move has to be Moonblast. So I don't, at this point, expect Heal Bell. So that's very, very good already, because I believe on this turn, after I wished, I went for the Toxic, because it hits anything basically on his team. Porygon 2 is already Toxic, so if that wants to come back in, that's fine with me. And the Mega Absol is not Mega'd yet, so I can hit that with a Toxic as I do land. And he does get back up to full, but this thing is on a timer right here. And at this point in the battle, like I said, I don't really have a great dedicated switch into Mega Absol. I'm sorry. I could have went into Landorus right here, but if you want to make the hard read, like, he's making very, very aggressive plays right from the beginning. As you saw, he went for the Thunder Wave turn 2. So I had to be careful about what he would go for. I'm expecting him to carry some kind of special coverage to deal with my Landorus, being Ice Beam, of course. So I don't want to make a very, very rash play going hard Landorus right here. I believe my plays are I can potentially scout out for once to go for the Protect. I can go for the Wish right here, because Superpower will not knock me out, and obviously he'll get an attack. His attack will drop. So I can Protect the next turn and then deal with Superpowers from there. And if he wants to go for a knockoff, that is pretty annoying, because I will lose my leftovers, and it'll do a pretty big chunk. But overall, I decided to stay in and click Wish right here, as I can live any one hit. If he Superpower crit me, then obviously I'd die, but that was the risk I was willing to take. And right here, obviously knockoff is going to do a ton less, so if that's the best thing he has to hit me with right here, then it cannot knock me out, and I can just go for a potential Dragon Tail or another Toxic. But I actually go for the Protect on the off chance that he goes for the Superpower now, because Licky Licky is way too important to be risking it, considering the Lugia is around, and I need to be able to deal with that defensively. So right here, I believe I do go for the Protect, as he pulls a switch into Cyberduck, the Porygon 2 once again. Chasing my Oblivious, not too big of a deal, but like I said, this thing's already Toxic. I have the Dragon Tail on deck. I can continue to Wish in this thing's face. He can Thunder Wave me, yes, but that also means I cannot get Toxic. So I am ultimately okay with that, as long as I don't get like fully paired like 5 turns in a row, which, you know, we'll see if that happens. But I go for the Wish right here as he goes for the Recover. I believe I end up Dragon Tailing out here, just because, like, obviously he was going to Recover there, but I don't want that thing to come in. And this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to Dragon Tail the Lugia out eventually and break that multi-scale. Just because, like, he doesn't have any removal outside of Lugia anyways, but I wanted to break it early just so some of my other mons could deal with it. Potentially Kyogre get in and start clicking Water Spout and just weaken this thing just immediately. So right here, I don't really expect him to stay in on a potential Toxic. So I guess I should have clicked Dragon Tail right here, but he had a pretty easy switch into Sylveon in my opinion. So, but he ends up actually going right back into Cyberduck, which is okay with me because I don't believe this thing can beat me one-on-one with what it has. So I just clicked Toxic right there, and I believe I clicked Dragon Tail on this following turn. As he goes for the Ice Beam, does 14%, and I go for the Dragon Tail, yes. So Porygon 2 is kept low as he goes right back into Absol. And I believe on this turn, once again, I click Protect. I'm still not 100% sure if he does not have Superpower or not, and I want to be very careful scouting for it. So obviously there is a chance I could get fully paralyzed, and that would suck, but I am just going to go for the Protect right here on this turn as I do get it off, and he goes for the Knockoff once again. So at this point, I'm pretty positive that he doesn't have the Superpower, so that kind of furthers my expectations that he could have the coverage for Landorus like Ice Beam, potentially Fire Blast for things like Amoonguss and Magearna. So I do need to be careful with this Absol because I believe the only thing he's shown so far is Knockoff. Right here I'm going to stay in again and go for the Wish, and I get fully paralyzed, which actually I did not go for the Wish right there. I went for the Dragon Tail, which was a misplay. So I'm actually kind of glad I got fully paralyzed because had I Dragon Tailed out into something like Garchomp, yeah, I could have switched into something like Landorus, but it would have weakened me down and it would have forced my Licky at a pretty low health and paralyzed. So it wouldn't have been ensured that I could have dealt with Lugia. So my play right there instead of Dragon Tail should have been Wish, or yeah, it should have just been Wish. I clicked Dragon Tail. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I got fully paralyzed. I clicked Dragon Tail, which was a bad play. I should have 100% clicked Wish to ensure that I get my health back up if I broke through the paralysis, of course. But I do get fully paralyzed right there, and his Absol is getting very low by the Toxic though. Right here I make a pretty risky play. I don't want my Licky taking another knockoff. I want to keep it pretty healthy for the Lugia, of course, like I was talking about. So I am going to pull the switch into my Landorus right here. I get the Intimidate off. If he clicks Ice Beam, it will pop my Yachi and I will live, which was the only reason I really made that play. He knocks off my Yachi right there, which obviously Yachi seemed like a pretty good turn against him. I don't know if that furthers his suspicion that I expect him to have Ice Beam on Absol or not, but that's something that could happen. Now, right here, this is a very interesting turn. You're going to see he's at 12%. He could go for the Ice Beam right here if he wants. If he just wants to double knock off, then that's fine with me. But my play right here, in my opinion, is to 100% go into Magearna. Ice Beam will do negative damage to Magearna. It won't do anything. Obviously, I do have to risk the freaking freeze, which I do not want to risk. And if he goes for knockoff again, then it cannot knock off my ICMZ, and it will do very little. And also, what will happen is Mega Absol will die to Toxic, and Magearna gets the Soul Heart boost, which honestly I completely forgot about. I just went into Magearna because I thought it was my best play, and then Absol could die, but I completely forgot about the Soul Heart boost. But as you can see, I go Magearna, and he goes for the Ice Beam. So very glad I decided to do that and keep my Landorus around. So his Absol goes down. We get the Soul Heart boost right here, so I'm thinking, okay, do I just stay in and start going for like the game right here, or what? Because Shaman comes in, and the best thing Shaman can do to me is Earth Power, which if he's Z Earth Power, I guess it would be a little bit misplay to keep me in right here because Z Earth Power could knock me out right here. I'm not Shook or anything. I am ICMZ. So I guess I could have went hard into Tornadus right here. He's in a position where he needs to play offensive and attack my Magearna, so I kind of disagree with me staying in right here. I feel like I should have went Tornadus first, just playing the game out safer, considering Magearna is a pretty good late game win con. So actually I end up staying in and click Shift Gear right away as he goes for the regular Earth Power, and that does 58%, and telling me he doesn't have, or telling me he does have a good amount of investment in special attacks, so kind of scary right there. So if he would have got a crit, I believe that would have knocked me out or got me very low to just killing me. So definitely a risky play on my part. I probably should have went Tornadus like I was talking about and tried to win with Magearna later, but what can you do? It was in the moment. I was excited that Magearna got the boost, and I was like, alright, let's just stay in, see what can happen. But at this point, if his Shaman is very like bulky and Spadef invested, then Ice Beam cannot knock it out. It gets it very close to dying. And if he's like just Fizz Def or something, he can die, but I do not want to risk this at this point because I want to be able to ensure I can at least get one kill. And with the Lugia's multi-scale being broken, and I believe it's around 80% right now, or 70, it's at 76 because of the rocks, and then it had leftovers, so that 82%. And if it comes in on rocks again, it'll be around 60% after leftovers, which means I believe it'll be 60 or 50 and then my Ice Beam can knock it out at +2 at that point. So if he wants to go to Lugia, basically telling me if I hit the ICMZ on the Shaman right here and knock it out, then the only thing that can come in and take a hit at this point would be the Sylveon might be able to take a hit, but I don't know if it could knock me out considering its move coverage. And then the Porygon 2. Sorry about that. Okay, then the Porygon 2 could potentially take a hit. He doesn't know if I have Focus Blast or not yet, but as you're going to see right here, I go straight for the ICMZ as he stays in, and this is going to clean, just knock out the Shaman. He actually revealed to me after the game that he was a Soul Vest Shaman, so I'm definitely glad I went for that right there. I'm definitely glad I went with that for that right there. And right here, probably a little bit of a misplay on his part, as Ice Beam at +2 can knock him out, even if he's max HP, max special defense. If he's Assault Vest, he can live. But he actually is not Assault Vest, as we saw from earlier. He has leftovers. But if he's max HP, max special defense, even then, with him at 57% and we're at +2, we can knock him out here with the Ice Beam. So we know he's not Yachi Berry. We know he's not Assault Vest. And we can actually just knock him out right here with the Ice Beam, which is great because Lugia is down. And Licky Licky's job just expanded, and now it should be able to deal with a couple more months. And out comes the Cyberduck, the Porygon 2. Right here, this is just the fact. Oh my gosh, if I had Aura Sphere, I believe it knocked out the Porygon 2. And obviously I have Focus Blast, which is my only move at this point to knock it out. +3 Ice Beam and +3 Thunderbolt can't even knock out Porygon 2. That is ridiculous. Like, if he's Spadef invested. I believe he actually turns out to be a Fizz Def Porygon 2 to be able to deal with Landorus, which obviously made sense because it was Trace, Intimidate to deal with Landorus. I believe Ice Beam and Thunderbolt will still roll on a Fizz Def Porygon 2, which is stupid considering how fat this thing is. So I pretty much went for the Focus Blast here, going for game, because even if I missed, he can't knock me out. The best thing he could do is paralyze me with a Thunder Wave, which obviously is annoying, but I'm still in a very, very solid position if he does cripple my Magearna, if I'm able to at least weaken this, or just not allow him to keep too healthy on his Porygon 2, as I do go for the Focus Blast right here. But you know, Focus Blast does what it does best and misses as he gets the Thunder Wave off there, stopping basically the Magearna sweep, because now things like Garchomp can't outspeed. As I actually do hit my next Focus Blast. I break through Paralysis and hit my next Focus Blast, so I'm like, what? And as he's going to be able to bring in Garchomp now, at this point Garchomp can just click Earthquake. It's like really obvious you can click Earthquake right here, but on the off chance he goes for like an SD as I go on the Landorus, and he has like a Z Aqua Tail or a Z Dragonium Z or something, he would be able to knock me out. I believe at +1. I believe I'm at 73% right now, so I think that does knock me out. So that's something he could go for. So I didn't want to choke away my Landorus like that, considering I can't get the free Intimidate on it afterwards. And Magearna at this point, like if I stay in and get a kill, then great. It's stopped, and I don't want to let him set up for free. So I believe I just go for Ice Beam on this turn, as he just makes a safe play and goes for Earthquake. And yeah, this is basically going to allow me to go to Landorus right here. Now I could have went into Kyogre, my Scarf Kyogre, and clicked Water Spout. It could have killed the Garchomp over here, but if he was Scarf Garchomp, which I did not know at this point, I wanted to go Landorus first, because he could have clicked Earthquake on my he could have clicked Earthquake with Scarf Garchomp on my Kyogre, weakened it. Water Spout I'm pretty sure still would have killed, but it would have made it to where the Sylveon could have lived and started Wish Passing to itself, which ultimately I just didn't want to deal with at the end. Like, but yeah, I go into Landorus right here. Now my play probably should have been U-turn right here, because if he's Scarfed, he would either be locked into Earthquake right here, which he could stay in and click it for some reason, which wouldn't make too much sense, or he would more than likely go into Sylveon if he's Scarfed, and I could click U-turn on the Sylveon and then get in either my Kyogre or my Amoonguss for free, which would probably be a little bit better against the Sylveon than my Landorus, in case he's max defense, max HP, to be able to deal with 2 Earthquakes from the range he's at. And then if he wasn't Scarfed, then he could go for like an SD right here or something, or he could change up his moves, and obviously at that point I would get a slow U-turn off into my Scarf Kyogre and be able to kill it, because it would be faster than Garchomp if he's not Scarfed. But right here I actually go for the Earthquake, as he goes for the regular Dragon Claw, showing me that he's not Scarfed. So if I click U-turn right there, I could have went into Kyogre. I do realize that, but at the same time, it's not too big of a deal. I'm just going to stand here and start spamming Earthquake. If he wants to knock me out, I can go into Kyogre afterwards. I'm going to click Earthquake as he goes into Sylveon right here, and that does 53%, telling me that he is not actually physically defensive. He is actually just max HP. He's actually revealed to me he's at max HP, max special attack, I believe, with Modest Nature. So that's not too much of a surprise, considering Sylveon actually hits my team incredibly hard with Fairy coverage. If it had the Psyshock, I believe it could hit their Amoonguss very, very hard too. So I do kind of see the point in bringing max special attack Modest there from his perspective. And he goes for the Protect right here. It is not going to put him in range, or out of range of another Earthquake, as I am able to knock him out with the next one. And he brings back in Garchomp right here, and I believe he goes for the Dragonium Z, which knocks out my Landorus. But this means Kyogre can come in and click Water Spout. We know he's not Scarfed at this point. Kyogre is going to be able to lock up this game and click Water Spout right there. And we, guys, we're the champions of UPC Season 2. All the credit goes to Bastel for sure. He had an incredible run to get to the finals. I believe he started off the season 1-3, but then he won like his next 7 like 7 out of 8 games or something like that, and then obviously knocked off in the playoffs. He knocked off Sumami and Easy, which are 2 really good opponents too. So yeah, all the credit goes to him for sure. He had a very scary team, and that game was stressful, man. Like it may have seemed like I was in control for a good amount of it, but like that game was stressful, like for sure. leading up to it. I was just ready to get into the battle and get it started to get these nerves out, but at the same time, there's a part of me that's just relieved that the game's over. But I am obviously glad we won. And yeah, GG to Bash, like I said, great game overall. I felt like even though Moongus did not touch the field, but I felt like I had a good matchup this game, especially after we were able to deal with the Lugia. So even if something happened to Kyogre, I still feel like we were in a good position to win the game with something like a Moongus slash the Tornadus at that point, considering Garchomp was getting lowered from the Earthquakes for my Landorus. And yeah, basically that's going to be it for Season 2, guys. Actually, might as well say it now. I'm not going to be returning to UPC Season 3. I'm basically taking a break from it, as I'm actually stopping a couple of my leagues. Remnants, I am going to finish out this season. I'm probably going to come back for next season of that, as yeah, hopefully I can keep going strong in that. We're sitting 5-1 right now, if you guys did not know. And then in the other upload leagues, the Crash, of course, I want to keep the Crash going. That is Mine and Bash League. We're running together, so I expect that to be coming every week. And yeah, that's it for leagues-wise. I probably will have a recap of this season for sure, talking about the Mons. I should have a playoff leaderboard for my kills and stuff, and just talk about my Mons briefly and stuff, and go over the team and such. But yeah. That's it from me, guys. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if new. Really would appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, peace.